Don't tell him that, dude. And yeah, that's not good, right? I know, that's the thing that I realized. Well, I know, you just keep going. The attitude that everything will work out in the end and everything will be even becomes more apparent to you when, let me explain something. And this is something I become personally militant about. So, I liked Henry Rollins give a speech about cynicism. And he starts it off, and he's basically talking about when he joined the band Black Flag. I really respect Henry Rollins. And he basically went from Washington, D.C., he was asked to join this band, and he was working like at a coffee shop or a record store before that. I mean, Henry Rollins seems like this badass guy, right? And he said when he joined the band, he started playing around the country for the band. All of a sudden, he got America right in the face, he said. He said that all of this crazy shit was happening to him. He was set up by cops. He saw blood. He saw fights, dude. He was getting, like, people wanted to kill him. Like, it was the worst of the worst situations. And he says something brilliant that I can identify with. Because he's like, dude, I saw blood. I saw fights. Cops were trying to fucking arrest me. They were setting me up with drugs. I was accused of rape. I never raped anybody. All of this crazy fucking shit. People I knew got killed off of every misadventure you would think. He's all, and I wasn't even trying to be macho about it. What you don't understand was, that was my reality. That was my reality. That is what matters. I hope to God, and I've learned my lessons, and I may learn them again, that I have always done my best of realizing that. I know that we are all born in some way, shape, or form with some inherent jewels, or born knowledge, as it's called. It may not be the whole book, but it may be a few pages where from that alone, like seeds, we can grow a whole nother plantation and just make sure everything gets close enough to how it was. But we're not going to be given all the words. And we have to do our best. We probably won't get it perfect. But based off what you were born with, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with it? It's your intent, man. I keep saying it's your intent. But is it just your intent? Because, do you know how you look at things and you see in the future, how you look back and you can see things more clearly? You're like, now that I look back, I can see now where I messed up here, where I messed up there. It's like when you look back, you can always see. Hindsight's 20/20, right? Okay, well, look at the procession of duality, the synchronicities that go on in the world on a grand scale. I mean, people have been able to trace the fact that, the Antichrist could have been Hitler or whatever. Because if you do the math and the years and all this and that, the exact date, Jesus was born, and that lines up, all this crap, right? Well, then you start realizing what they're saying is that the Antichrist will be coming back now as Hitler, with the math they're doing. Then they start saying, well, what is the Antichrist exactly? There's so many different theories on this. And each one of them holds water. You don't know which one it is. But then you start seeing one, oh my God, oh shit. I mean, what do we have with Hitler? People will look at it objectively. The Jews would look at it totally differently than, like I would. I'm a Catholic Christian. If you want to call me any religion, that's just how it is. I don't like to label myself as anything. But that's what I was raised with. But I'm very open-minded to everything. In fact, to be honest with you, I would tend to subscribe that other religions probably have a better, like, patent on it, if you want to call it that. But at this point, the powers that be that are helping us out, and clearly they are helping us out, not the powers in the government, the powers that we can't see. And they don't seem to be removing things from the Bible. They seem to be punching them home more. I was convinced, I was one of those guys who was convinced the Bible had to be manipulated. There is no doubt that there are dark energies around here. I think even atheists believe that. I really do. I really do. They may not, they don't call it God, but they call it something. They call it the universe. I'll call it whatever. I'll call it the grand creator. I don't call it God, Or I'll call it Jesus or Yahweh or whatever you call it, Allah. But I don't know yet, so I'm not going to make a firm decision. But I've seen enough in them giving me evidence that is divine. So it doesn't really matter if Don is or not predicting the future. He believes he is. What is his reaction to that? That's his intent. That's important. That's very, very important. I want you to think of the end of the Shawshank Redemption. When, what's his name? Morgan Freeman, finally, after all those years, just tells it like it is, dude. He's just so brutally honest with the parole board. You're thinking, oh man, dude, he snapped. He's not going to get released. They wanted to hear him be honest about it, right? Now, I'm not guaranteed, and you aren't either, that that's going to get you freed. At least not like that. But it's scary. What if, for example, what if there's a rule? There's rules in this universe that we may not understand, and that's just the way it is. I mean, we've been living through that. Is that going to change? I mean, sometimes I'm told, hey, you guys have been going through hell. Something's been manipulating the planet. The bad times are over. You guys aren't going to have to suffer anymore. Is that right? Because it seems like it's always been going on in history. This is the end of that cycle? Or maybe from now or something like that? Like, what are you saying? You know, and then I get imagery, very strong imagery, telepathic imagery. And when you get imagery like that, and you know it's not coming from your imagination, no, it's not. And then you're presented with ideas and scenarios, hypothetical questions. Hypothetical questions. What would you do if? And you get these questions a lot, and you realize they're not just like funny little questions in the back of the newspaper. These are big-time questions, and you don't know how you're going to be graded. Because sometimes you know it's not about your ultimate answer, it's how well you spell the letters. Sometimes it's just, you know, it's about only spelling. They don't care what your opinion was. They just want to see you to get your grammar correct. You start realizing, damn, dude, whatever these entities are, they've been like oppressing people. They've been, you know, you knew that at a young age. You always believed that there was oppression in the ghetto. You always had a heart, man, for people who didn't have money, and you realized that there is some kind of manipulation going on here. There's some setup. That racist people were wrong, even they were getting set up. But they get the benefits, right? Exactly. So in other words, at the end of all of this, if we all wake up and realize, oh, we're all one family, like we hope is going to happen. We're all one big family. Blacks, whites, everybody. Cats and dogs living together. It's an inside joke. That the bill is paid, right? The bill is paid. Someone's going to pay for this. What do you mean? No, we're all getting along now. It's okay. Well, that's not the way the universe works. We can say that, but, you know, hey, that's just, I mean, the universe, we're going to go negotiate with the universe? It doesn't have a conscience. It's just a mechanism. It's like yelling at a car for running over someone. It's not the car's fault. The car's just moving. It's not, it just does its thing, man. That's the way it was built. You know that, right? What are you trying to say? Well, with all that racism going on, hey, I've always stood up, man. I've gotten, like, I've gone out of my way, man, to stand up when I hear racist statements. I go out of my way to make sure that they know that I'm not down with that, and that they're wrong, because not many white people say that. You would think that, like, if anyone was going to pay a punishment, it's going to be the people who did that shit, were the racists, right? Yeah, you'd think that. What if it turns out that this courage you had, and you think you were courageous, you did stand up to some badass cats, Don. There's no doubt you went out of your way. You took the hits, or you took the risk. You took the risk. So now we know who takes the risk. All right? This guy's pretty badass. You are. No, you really are. No one else has the guts to do that. Look at the posts you write. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. He's writing what he's hearing, and he's being told, you better write this. He's under the impression this is going to save people as much as anyone else would be. That's his reality. And what does he do with it? Dude, they're going to kill you if you say something. Who? The CIA, whoever, dude. Don't you see that they shoot people who spit the truth on? And, oh, what, you think you're JFK? No, they'll kill him quicker. Why? Because he's not famous. They can take him out in a second. Say it's a drug overdose. You're never going to get shit, dude. And here's the deal. Unfortunately, with the different, you know, races of entities we have on the planet, Don, someone's got to pay for this racism thing. And I get presented, essentially, with what we call African Americans, black guys. They're my friends. I'm cool with that. I'm legitimately fine with that. You're going to have to give yourself up, man. What do you mean? We understand what you're saying. We have our intelligence in you. But you made the mistake of thinking, because you took the risk, because you stood up for what was right, that meant that in the long run, you don't get punished. Really what it means is you've identified as someone who can carry the weight for everyone else. And we're not so sure other whites could pay this bill. And since their ascension is still going on, someone's got to pay for this. I'm sorry, but you got to come with us. What do you mean I got to go with you? You know exactly what we mean. And I see these images of slavery, of oppression, of hate, and I'm terrified. And I'm terrified. It's too real of an imagery. It's not my imagination. It's real imagery that I'm seeing. I'm feeling it now. They're right. Holy shit. Some massive... If you had known before, you wouldn't have done it, huh? That's why we didn't tell you. Sorry, we didn't lie to you, Don. You know you're a spiritual being. You're like an angel, and you know that's the way it would be for an angel, huh? Yeah, you're right. And that's what I said. That's just what I said. I said, okay, I understand. I understand. And I started thinking about my friends. And I started thinking about my family. And I seriously said, okay, I understand, dude. And I didn't really understand, but I said that. And I was just really scared. I kind of got into that locked up mode. And was like ready to go. Let's just do this. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Then it's like laughing. And they're like, dude, what are you doing, Don? What? And they're all joking. Bro, we're just kidding with you, white boy. It's all good, man. We know how you are, man. You stood up for us. Thank you. We were just joking. But you haven't gotten over that joke, have you, Don? No, I haven't. I have not gotten over that joke. They were just joking. I'm not sure they were, dude. Don, don't get scared about anything. I'm not scared, dude. I'm just saying. In the past, I've had pranks played on me by angels, and I know when they're done what's a joke and what's not. And there's something about what they said that was true. What part? The part about the people that stand up, the ones that are like, not the heroes. They never get any credit. It's the ones that don't get any credit for it. They seem to be able to always take the hits. That's one of the reasons I have more respect now for the Latinos and the blacks. Why? Because for some reason it's like they're suffering so that we can wake up. And they keep suffering and keep suffering. Why? Because they're stronger than we are. It's not about a race thing or issue. It's a spirit thing. So if you're going to be stronger, I'll probably, in the next life I'll be black. I could have been black in the past life. I don't know yet. But all I do know is I'm not guaranteed shit. Does that change your attitude? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't, no. And on some level, I can say, I'm so brainwashed now. I've been through so much hell, I don't fucking care anymore. You're right. That's not going to save you. It's just going to get you by, because you've seen that before. That's what's going to get you by for the next 20 years. Is just fuck God, he abandoned me, I fucking hate him. And you know what's going to happen after that, right? You're going to wake up and you're going to find God again. Just like in this life, it's just a presenting cycle, and you know what's coming because you can see the future. But you couldn't see this one coming. We couldn't show it to you. Because now as you look back, you see the truth of your past. And now you look back and say, God, I stood up for everybody. And now you're realizing, do you realize every time you stood up and felt good about yourself, that you're going to pay for that by standing up and being punished? Don, are you sure that's the way it works? No, but it makes sense. What do you mean it makes sense? I can't dismiss that idea. That does seem to be a way I've seen things. Maybe I'm wrong. But sometimes it's just like you shake your head and you go, it's always the same person. Why is it always happening to them? And you felt like you got an answer to something. Right. Great. See, he doesn't like getting the answers anymore. You don't want to know all that Don knows. Why? Because now he starts realizing things. He can see his future sometimes. Yeah. Great.